was just a baby, my mama said to me, son, always be a good boy, don't you ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blow, I hang my head and cry.
Hey, this is Toad from Country AF Radio. I got the opportunity to sit down with Chris Bandi, get to know him a little bit better. With a lot of Zoom technical difficulties, this one was fun yet rough at the same time. We talked a brand new EP that's coming out. We talked food. We talked Peloton bikes and so much more. Let's get to know Chris Bandi.
My man, what's up?
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, brother?
Dude, I'm awesome. Are you there?
Should I do headphones or should I do?
You can. That's fine. That's
Does
fine.
it sound all right?
Yeah, it sounds.
I just don't want to look like a dweeb. In the.
I'm not going to use a lot of this. I'm just going to use like bits and pieces that to pull. Whiskey, come here. Come say hi to Chris. Up here.
Oh my goodness! How big's she getting?
Dude.
Wow.
Big girl, huh?
Are you at home or are you at Stoney's?
I'm at home. This is my office at home.
No shit. I love it.
Yeah. This is the.
I don't know if you.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
I like it. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
It's funny how
I was doing a.
Go ahead.
I was doing a Facebook Live the other day. Somebody asked what hat I was wearing, and I was wearing this one.
I like it. Today has been a day. Every single one of my 2 p.m. Every single one of my interviews for today has canceled.
No shit.
Every one. And dude, I've did them all day Monday, Tuesday, all day. Tony Jackson was first this morning and he calls me like 20 minutes later. Oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry. And then after that I had Casey James, and Casey James kind of like freaked out because something's going on with his little trio that he's doing with Adam Wakefield and Craig Wayne Boyd.
Wow.
He's all freaked out about that. Something about a release or something was supposed to come out. And so he pushed his out. And then Kanan Smith, Kanan filled the fucking thing out and he disappears and was like, oh dude, my bad. Like, and it was like, and she's like, well, I'm going to try Rain. I'll try Bandi, see if we can move stuff around. I'm like, whatever.
I'm glad we made this work, man.
Hell yes. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How are y'all hanging?
We're good, dude. I'm going to go ahead and go trailer on you and say that we moved our little dining room table in the back outside and put a above ground pool that we're filling up.
I love it. I love it. You have the hose in there right now?
Hose is in there right now. So
nice.
One of the in between, so I go to Starbucks in the morning. I come home because I have an interview with Tony. He doesn't show up. So I leave and go run an errand. I come home for the next one. Casey doesn't show up. So I leave, go run another errand. I drive all the way 25 minutes one way to go pick up a filter for this pool. Drive back. And
Kanan doesn't show.
I'm like, dude. And so Jamise is like, she's like, maybe you just weren't supposed to run errands today. I said, clearly not at all at one time. I mean, I had to set this up to where I would go intermittently, but it was kind of funny the way that worked out. But other than that, I mean, we're great. I mean, the radio station's doing good. We've a little bit more than doubled our listenership.
Hell yeah. In this month or this quarter, annually?
I would tell you that we were doing about 16,000 listeners a month consistently, and now I'm doing close to 40.
Dude, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, so
congratulations.
Thank you. I think it has to do with the takeovers. I think it has to do with the fact that people are searching for new music. I think
right.
I have friends in radio that are in sales and radio and say that which they tell me that their radio.coms are through the roof. They're going crazy. The iHeart, everything online, which I understand.
Right.
But somehow they're saying that their listenership, they know it's going down, people listening to terrestrial. And I'm like, how do you know that? How do you know that? Like, you don't.
Right.
Because you can't put a finger on how many people are listening anyway. But needless to say, I think that's a fair assessment to say that people aren't driving around as much as they used to listen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, look at gas prices. It's ridiculous.
I can afford
oil prices.
that. Yes. I can afford to fill up my truck and boat, drive to Nashville, take you out for a day and come back. Cause probably
It's cheaper than a flight.
Probably like $100 to get me around, you know? But,
yeah, man, it's a crazy time. We're just hanging in there. I was joking with somebody the other day that, I would at this point go play a show with a mask and gloves on if I had to.
Well, yesterday I was with, I interviewed with Sam Grow and with Stephen Carey, and
yeah,
dude, I love both of those guys. I've never met Sam Grow before. He was supposed to play during ACMs.
Yep.
Maybe the same show that you were going to be on, if I'm not mistaken.
It may have been.
But needless to say, both of them were like, we're so itching. And I'm like, so I actually have a poll on Country AF Radio right now to find out who's the first artist that you want to see when you get out of this quarantine thing. And
I love it.
But what's funny about that is I pushed all my shows out through middle of June. My first show is June 12th, and I'm thinking about moving that one too. So it's kind of like, what if we can open June 1st? What do I do? And I'm like, I'm not so much worried because I can call some artists that I know are dying that just to get out and play.
And the one thing I heard is, and this is all hearsay, so this may not be accurate, but one thing I heard was like, Live Nation is coming to artists now, and they're like, listen, we can't guarantee you X amount. Will you take a door deal for, the remainder of from August on or something like that? Right. And I mean, what kind of artist wants to take that gamble right now based on, if they go out there and
50%,
say that
50% capacity, like
we had our last show was in Salisbury, Maine, before all this went down, and they said we had like close to 600 tickets sold, and there were 30 people in that room.
Wait, what?
Yep, because it was, so we played in New York the day
what day was that? What was the date?
It was the 12th of March. So President Trump gave his address to the nation on the 11th, and we were in New York City.
Wow.
And I mean, that was a great crowd. That was great. But then while we were on stage is when he gave the address to the nation, and everything changed. Everything changed.
You're the first person that I've talked to that had an experience like that, which is, wow, that is nuts. If you think about it, like this impact it's had on everybody has been crazy. And, my thought process is I feel for the people that have had some issues personally, whether financially or whether they've gotten the COVID-19 thing or someone in their
family member. Yeah.
But then I look at the other side, and I was just talking to Jamise, and I was like, man, my thought process of Broadway, your guys' Broadway, of these businesses that make $15 to $25 million a year each.
Right.
Versus a Las Vegas Strip that is dormant right now.
Oh yeah.
Like, what is going on?
Yep.
And it's nuts because I work at home most of the time anyway. I mean, so it's not much of a change for me, but it's the other side of Heather being home all the time and the kid being home all the time. And I keep joking with people saying that there's 4 females here between the 2 dogs and those 2.
Yeah.
I'm inviting my friends over. Like,
well, what do you think about your mayor?
My what? Oh, dude. I'm upset. I'm just going to start it this way. I'm upset with Anderson Cooper for not letting her finish a sentence. Like, that bothered me. But I'm also happy that he didn't let her finish those sentences because she's just the city. She's not the Strip. She's just the city.
Okay.
She's downtown. She doesn't do anything with the county. But yeah, I mean, I understand her thought process.
Right.
But it's missing a plan. It's like, dude, I'm going to go play Stoney's Rockin' Country, but I don't know any songs.
Yep.
That's pretty much what it was. I'm
right.
going to be there, but I don't know what I'm doing. So
yeah, it's just a mess. No one knows. And I hate to say this, but I don't know if we're playing live music this year.
Wow. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't believe that.
Good.
I don't.
Good.
I don't. I can tell you that. So I've heard
I
a
would
couple
love to taste crow.
on this one, right? Because then we get to eat.
Absolutely.
Then we get to eat sushi.
Absolutely, man.
I don't know if you saw my post the other night, but Monday Soho opened and all they have is fresh salmon. That's the only thing they can get fresh. So we spent $125 there.
So I called Virago at least 15 times because online it said that they were still doing takeout.
Right.
Everything I read said that in street, that whole conglomerate of restaurants was still doing takeout. Nobody answered.
Wow.
I'm itching for some good sushi.
Well, my friends from San Diego, they supplied me with a bunch of bluefin and yellowtail in my freezer. So I've slowly defrosted some, made spicy tuna out of it, that sort of thing. But Monday was a treat. I like salmon. I do not love salmon. It's not my go-to every time, but it was the only thing they had fresh. So we got every possible item with salmon in it, from the sushi to the sashimi to the crema to the avocado to the salmon lovers roll. We just went salmon crazy.
And see, I'm a nigiri guy, so I sashimi or nigiri. I'm not a big roll guy.
Yep.
But man, I miss it.
Yeah, I went to I was driving home the other day, and Siri, God bless her heart, she I was telling Heather that I was just craving sushi. So I had the bluefin, I took it out. So I was going to stop at the I don't even know what to call it, the ethnic store, and just to grab soy paper, just so I could maybe throw some of that in there and eat it with my hand or whatever like that. Well, I go in there and they had fresh yellowtail, and they had a loin in there, and it was like 1.5 pounds, and everything else was the tail meat down, but they had this one piece about this big, and I bought it. And
there you go.
Yeah, I came home and I ate it sashimi. And they were like,
cut it right up.
Yeah, didn't even care, and it was so good. It still had the bloodline in it, so I was able to cut all that stuff out. And dude, it was really good.
And now my mouth's watering.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and send you some photos when we get done, and
please do. make me as jealous as possible.
Dude, what's the one thing you're missing the most? Obviously, food and playing. Do those kind of go hand in hand? Just being able to leave the house.
Man, yes. I think the biggest thing that I'm missing is social interaction. And you have it like this, but this doesn't beat this. It's not the same thing. Being able to, if you see somebody on a walk, talk to them,
right,
as opposed to staying 6 feet away and kind of just being like, hey,
right,
walk in. But yeah, that playing. We were supposed to be, during March, we were supposed to be on the road. We were supposed to be home 5 days.
Wow.
Every other day was out on the road.
Good.
And that led to March 13th, we flew home from Boston, and we've gone to Trader Joe's one time, but I haven't left my house since March 13th, other than that.
Wow. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cheat the system. I got my last haircut January 21st. But here's what's funny. The girl that cuts my hair also cuts Heather's hair. So I wrote her probably middle of March, because it had been 2.5 months, and my hair, I always keep it kind of short. And Heather started going, dude, I hate your hair. It's driving me nuts. I'm wearing a hat and it's flipping out. So I wrote the girl that cuts my hair, and I was like, hey man, are you feeling better? Blah, blah, blah. And so she came over, my garage in the backyard. I sat in a chair and she cut my hair. And
man, I need this trimmed.
I did
so
that
badly. Bad.
Well, it's funny. Heather and I keep joking. They're like, how long until he cuts it? Because every time I see it's bigger and bigger. And bigger. That's right.
Well, I get nervous because I don't want to do it myself and end up going too far and then having to take it all off. So
we've all done that.
Trimmed up the sides a little bit, but it just keeps getting longer and longer down here.
Like Chris pretty soon.
I know.
Minus the gray.
Well, those will probably by the end of this start trickling in.
Right. Do you are you writing at all right now? Or are you kind of just?
We are. So I had a great write today. I wrote with Trevor Rosen from Old Dominion.
Right.
So we've been doing Zoom writes, and it's getting us through.
Right.
It's a nice substitute. But like I said, it's not that face-to-face, because I feel bad if, somebody starts talking and then you start, and there's a delay between the two. So there's a lot of like,
Yeah.
what were you saying? And so, but it's, it's definitely feeding the itch that we have to write songs, and we're still being creative, and we're still, getting it done while we're at home and in quarantine. Right. So it beats nothing.
Did you get the putting green put in?
I have not gotten the putting green put in.
Epic fail. I'm out there almost every day. My short game is coming back. So my buddy Sparky, he's really good at golf. He goes, let's try this game. We're going to chip from here. Once you get it in the hole, then your next shot is into the bucket. Well, I'm not going to say that I'm any good, because I'm not. I mean, my short game has gotten a lot better just because I have this in my backyard.
Right.
I made it in the hole. Then I made it in the bucket before he even made it in the hole. And I was like, looked at him. I was like, dude, I don't even know what to say. I got super lucky, but the end of the day was, I mean, I picked up that experience. And
well, I can promise you that this is going to be my last pandemic without a putting green in my backyard.
You got quotes on it, right?
We did. So I got quotes on it and everything. Just didn't end up. We got a fire pit and a patio and everything put in as well. So it was kind of all going to be at the same time. And we ended up just doing that, and kind of we're going to do it in phases.
Right.
And that phase has not rolled around yet.
The guy that did my backyard is coming over Saturday to do, he's running pavers. He's got these quarantine specials going on, but he's doing pavers 30 feet from the street to my fence, 2-3 foot run. So when I pulled the boat out of the garage, I can not be going through the rocks. I can actually be on paver.
Yep.
So he's doing that Saturday, which is neat. I don't even have to see him. He just comes out, does his stuff, and goes about his business.
And he's gone?
Gone. That's it. So I'm kind of excited.
Oh, man.
Dude, our lakes are closed. I can't even go to the water.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I'd have to go to the Arizona side to do it. And I've been contemplating, like, literally loading up and driving 3.5 hours just to get into some water and surf for a little while.
Do they have all the boat ramps closed off?
We do.
Damn, locked up, chained?
I don't, you know what? I've heard stories. I know that, so Vegas, I mean, Lake Mead is half Arizona, half Nevada. And so there's a place called Temple Bar. It's probably not that far away. Havasu is good.
Havasu.
Yeah, that's a good 3.5 hours, and that's open. But I've been seeing photos, and there's so many people there, and I don't want any part of that.
Right.
So the other side is Temple Bar, but people are going to Temple Bar and then coming back to the Nevada side and just cruising around. And I was like in the forums reading what people are saying. They're like, dude, if you go in at Temple and you come to Las Vegas Harbor where they have gas, but it's closed, if you call them, they'll come out and give you gas. And I'm like, wow. So I'm on the fence, dude. I'm super on the fence because I want to get out and just surf again.
There's nothing more isolating than being on a boat.
No. And that's what's driving me bananas is I just sit back and I'm like, dude, they literally took everything and told us no. And
well, I feel like they did that as a preventative to do they have a party cove there? Do a lot of people
not like Havasu
up together?
I mean, they do and they don't, but dude, leave that to the people to decide what they're going to do.
Right.
I mean, I understand.
Yeah, but haven't you ever read Lord of Flies?
Shit. Yeah.
You leave it to the people. We don't know what the hell we're doing.
I mean, I know that when they originally said that, they said that they were going to leave the lakes open because it was federal. But then when the federal shut down, they still left it open and said that there wasn't going to be anybody else out there to help you.
Right.
But then what happened is people just started going to the beach and congregating on the beach there. So when I sat back and went, yeah, that's probably not cool, but let the people go out on their boat and go do their thing. And so people live out at the marina on the water. They gave them like 6 days to get their shit and get out.
Really?
Which they're paying $600, $700 a month for a slip fee.
Yeah.
But they can't even go there. So it's kind of like what happens?
How's Stoney's doing since everything had to?
Well, we've refinished all the tables. We literally sanded them all down, restained them, refinished them all, made them all level and everything like that. Yesterday I was there. They They did a super deep cleaning of everything. We did get the first round of the SBA loan. So all the bartenders
Awesome.
are getting paid. The security guards are getting paid, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
But I mean, other than that, yeah, everyone's just kind of staying at home. We've done some fun stuff with the bartenders, you know, drinking and passing the bottle and doing that kind of thing. And now they're making drinks and all that kind of stuff and sending me like the really fast videos.
Okay.
And we're putting up at the end like what's all in the drink, that sort of thing. Just stuff to keep people entertained. But I'm getting messages every day from people that how much they miss dancing. And so even if they give us a 50% open here, this is where I'm lost in my head. So our cap's 1,200.
Mm-hmm.
So 50% is 600 people.
600.
Yeah, what's the difference between 600 and 800? 600 and 650. What's the difference?
Yeah. 600. I mean, yeah, it's a large gathering.
It is. So I just sit back and I'm like, if he tells us that we can open, you know, in June with 10 people, like we're not going to open. There's no reason.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't benefit anybody. 600 people could be a poor Friday night, you know, that sort of thing. So it's kind of like,
Have y'all still been doing food?
not out of Stoney's. No, we do. No, because that's just like
The one guy, right?
the catering dude. Yeah.
Okay.
So we do have a bar way out in the Northwest called Santa Fe Mining Company. And about 2.5 weeks ago, we opened up for curbside pickup, and it's doing all right.
Good.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, and it's helping those people work. And I was out there taking photos of the food just so I had some stuff to promote, and it seems to be working.
Good.
Which is cool.
Yeah. I mean, I never in my lifetime thought that I would see something like this.
Dude, think of it like this. So your grandpa probably has the greatest stories in the world. Your dad, maybe, but your grandpa, right?
Right.
That's going to be us, dude. We're going to be the grandpas of like, dude, I lived through 9/11. I lived through the coronavirus. I lived through Root. I lived through Waco. Come on, dude. What do you know, that walking uphill both ways barefoot in the snow is gone. Like,
right.
We smoked that.
We were stuck at home for 3 months.
Right? Yeah, kind of. Something. Dude, so have you watched, I'll just start with the obvious. Did you watch Tiger King?
Absolutely.
Did you watch it early or did you watch it later in the game?
I watched it the day that it came out. Okay. Or I'm sorry, the weekend it came out.
I did not. I watched it after everyone had all this silly hype about it. And then when I watched it, I was like, yeah, it sounds like a Thursday night. I watched it like 2 weeks after, and it was like, it's a Thursday night at Stoney's. I mean, it's just filled with drama and, you know, bullshit and people wanting to fight. That's
right.
But I mean, what about Outer Banks? Did you watch that yet?
I have not seen Outer Banks.
Pretty good.
I have not seen Outer Banks. I watched McMillions on HBO.
I started, so that's the one where the guy gave away or sold the winning tickets?
Yep.
I watched a few of those.
That one was pretty good. Tiger King.
Ozark?
Yeah. Absolutely. So that's the Lake of the Ozarks is where we grew up going, being from St. Louis. It was an hour and a half, 2 hours from us, and that was every summer. We'd go to the Lake of the Ozarks.
Is it really just that beautiful?
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah. It is beautiful. But it is, and it kind of, they play to the fact where a bunch of rich people come in and have these multi-million-dollar houses and stuff. But then once the summer's done, they're gone, and it's just local Osage Beach people. But it's definitely a cool show, and I watched all of that in like one weekend.
Wow.
I started watching Hunters on Amazon.
Okay, is that the one where you've got 24 hours to stay alive? Is that one? Or is
No. So Hunters it's got Al Pacino, and it's like 20 years post World War II.
Okay.
And it's based in the United States, and some top Nazi generals and just top Nazis have made their way, escaped Germany, and gone to the United States, and have become doctors in the United States or politicians in the United States. And it's a group of people that are trying to find all of them and kill them.
Oh, wow.
That's
probably pretty good.
Yes, it was very good.
I am writing that one down. Hunters.
It's on Amazon Prime.
I have that. You got to watch. I'm going to say you got to watch Outer Banks because it's youthful and innocent.
Okay.
About a guy that's following his dad's legacy to find a treasure, which whatever, but think about when you were 16 years old, how you thought so much differently than you think today. Like, and it's when I got through the season, I was like, it was interesting. It was good. But then when I watched the video to find out if they were going to have a season 2, like I did some research to find out if they were doing season 2 or whatever. And the guy that wrote it and produced it came out and said, we are going to do it. We're going to start here at this place and we're going to keep these characters involved. But I want to keep it youthful and innocent, which was, yet you're still drawn to it. Like it's
right.
I think every person around 14 to like 18 years old thought like the way that they're thinking. Like everything mattered so much. Everything.
I will check it out. I started watching, well, Amy was watching, and then I kind of came in and started watching it with her. This Is Us.
Oh God. Yeah.
I don't know why anyone in the world would subject themselves to this every single week, because I'm sitting there at the end of the episode just like bawling my eyes out. Like,
right.
you can't look away. So
Yeah.
you're just sitting there like so enthralled and emotional. And I'm like, why do I keep watching this? But here I am 6 hours into season 3 in one day.
I quit watching it maybe 2 seasons in because it was that weekly thing and I just lost track of it. But I got to the point where I was like, dude, this is like, I can't watch this with a girl that barely knows me because I'm screwed. She's going to be like, this guy, he ain't got no balls, like that's the thing. And then you try and be cool and you sit there like this and you're like pushing on your tear ducts. Just
well, mine is I do like a cough and a laugh. Like if I start, I'm like, and so Amy will look and be like, are you crying?
No.
How are you not crying?
Right. We just started watching Money Heist.
Okay, what's that?
It's overseas. It's done overseas. They're robbing the mint and they're printing their own money. And but
Money Heist.
It's in a foreign language, so it's on Netflix, I believe. Yeah, Netflix. But they English dubbed it, so you get a lot of, "Hey, Chris, how's it going?" Yeah, but for me, the first episode was a little weird because I hate a delay. If I'm watching TV and I'm streaming something and there's like a half a second delay, I can't.
From the lips, yep.
Drives me bananas. But for this, I've watched 13 episodes of it the first year, and there's 4 seasons, I believe. And we're pissed because we got stuff to do tonight that we can't watch it tonight. We had stuff to do last night. We worked on my dirt bike last night, couldn't watch it. And so Heather said to me today, she's like, shit, we can watch it again tonight. And I'm like, no, but one of these days, we'll just sit down and just get through because, I'm like, I watched 6 episodes. I'm like, I just wasted 6 hours.
6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we watched Cooking with Cannabis or Cooking on High or whatever.
I saw it, but I haven't seen it yet.
It's pretty good. It's like a Top Chef with weed, and the stuff that they put this in, like weed infused lamb chops.
So is it just CBD or is it THC?
No, it's THC, CBD. It's everything.
It's like you just never quit eating, I would think. I just want one lamb chop. No, I'll just have one whole lamb. Sorry.
Right. I'll just take the whole lamb. And then we did, we watched Parasite, the movie that won all the Oscars.
Right. Was it good? Nah. Yeah. Political. That's cool.
I didn't love it. It's all subtitled, which in my opinion, if I wanted to read the whole movie, I just would have gotten the book.
Right. Yeah.
But I guess I went into it thinking it was a completely different premise than what it was as well. So I thought it was about a pandemic. So that's why I wanted to watch it. I was like, oh, let's see how this adds up.
Let's see how we're going to end this thing. All right. Yeah.
It was not that at all. We watched Little Fires Everywhere.
Never saw that one either.
With Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon.
Good.
And that was based on a book. That's on Amazon or Hulu. And that was good. Yeah. I didn't love the ending, but it was good.
I just literally disconnected my DirecTV. I called them. I was paying 200 plus bucks a month for it. And I called them and I'm like, yeah, well, I lost my job. What am I supposed to do? Blah, blah, blah. And they were like, I thought maybe they'd come back and say, all right, we'll cut your bill in half until whatever. They were just like, yeah, well, you could have less stuff on there. And I'm like, I really don't have too much on there. It's just that you guys are expensive as hell. And they were like, well,
Right.
we do have a thing where you can cancel and we will not charge you a cancel fee. And I was like, go ahead, cancel it. Cool. So I got YouTube TV, all the TVs in the whole house, $49.
Really?
Yeah. And
now is your internet through?
No, my internet's through Cox Cable. So my DirecTV gone, YouTube TV's in, and it comes with the local stations. So I get NBC, CBS, Fox, and ABC all included.
Really?
Because that was the big deal before was, yeah, great. I cut the cord, but I don't have any local. And they were putting this antenna on your roof and all that shit. They don't do that now. They just get YouTube TV. And if you want Showtime, it's $11 a month. If you want Stars, it's $3.99 a month. But dude, between Netflix, Disney Plus, and YouTube TV, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, ours is, we have Xfinity, but our internet and cable and our home security is all through the same one.
Right. Yeah.
So, and we don't have that many channels. We've got like just the basics, like ESPN and stuff like that. I need to make sure that I get my sport networks.
ESPN is on YouTube TV. I mean, it's not like you're watching anything right now, but whatever.
We put on a replay of a Preds game the other night and watched it outside.
That's pretty funny. I think we've watched, Heather's parents are like huge Kings fans. So we watched a lot of Kings games and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of, but I mean, I was watching old football games, college football games, old basketball games, like Final Four stuff. And I mean, dude, I think that's where I think I lost the most because I love March Madness. Like I would and I would go to the DirecTV channel that had 19 games and just turn that on and work and just look up at, and I was happy, but I'm just like, didn't happen.
All right. I'm changing my answer to what I missed most.
Yeah.
I miss betting on sports. So just sports collectively.
Right.
I miss sports and I miss golf. And I guess you still can play golf.
Not here.
Really? So a few places in town, you're still allowed to play golf. But I just don't want to risk it.
Sure.
Like I'd rather stay inside and stay healthy than.
You should just have that guy that came into your fireplace come to your backyard. You ain't gonna see him. We'll let it sit for 2 weeks and then go out and do your thing.
I know.
I think that's one of the first things I thought about. I was like, I wonder if he ever put his damn putter golf thing in because you'd use it a lot.
I know.
I went out and rode my dirt bike last week. I did 49 miles. I did not make it back home though. I sheared the chain guide off my rear swing.
I think I saw that.
It's not good. Not good. I did not wreck, which is fine, but Heather had to come out and get me in the middle of the desert. So last night we were in the garage working on the dirt bike. I bought a new swing arm for it, bought a new chain guide, new chain, new sprocket. It bent my steel sprocket, dude. It was like that, which
jeez.
Yeah, I got lucky. Thank you, Lord. But
so what's that take? Like an hour, 49 miles?
About an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, I was cruising. I just bought a new bike right before all this shit hit the fan. Some girl that used to work with us said her boyfriend was selling his bike and it's a smoking deal. So I wrote her and I said, how much is a smoking deal? The bike brand new was $10,100 he paid for it. She goes, he'll take $7,500. I went, yeah, when he can't sell it, I'll give him $5,000 cash for it. So like an hour and a half go by. She writes back and all it says is $6,000. And I wrote back $5,200. About an hour goes by. She goes, $5,500. I said, what's his address? So
have you found yourself looking at like obnoxious things online that you would love to buy?
Dude, I'm looking. So on my other windows over here, I have Can-Ams and razors up here.
Okay.
And absolutely. I mean,
I was looking at Polaris all day the other day.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to buy anything, but I was just like, oh man, well, I could get this and ride around the neighborhood.
Well, for me, it's a little bit different because I live out in the middle of nowhere, so I could legit just hop on the thing and be gone. Like, I do it on my dirt bike. So that all stemmed because just before this shit hit the fan, my buddy Theo came over in his Can-Am. He's got a 4-seater and he had 2 open seats. And so Heather and Alyssa get in the back seat and we go on this 30, 40-mile ride. Well, I'm on my dirt bike. My buddy Sparky's riding my other dirt bike. So we're all just farting around. We get home and Heather's like, yeah, we need to get one. And I'm like, why? Like, that's 30, 40 grand. Like, what do you need to get it? You know, I'm like, but I went down and we looked at them and it's like buying a car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, we talked about it last night and I'm like, because my other buddy came over with his Can-Am and I'm just like looking at it. He got a lower model one. I'm like, how much was this? He's like, 27,000. It was like 30,000 with the trailer. And I went, wait a minute, Theo's was 30,000. He goes, yeah. I go, and Theo's is the end all be all. You paid 3,000 less and you've got like a little bit. No, it's just not worth it. It's just
right.
Like if it was only 17 grand, yeah, maybe I would think about it. Cause that's, you know, $150 a month. I can live with that, you know, to go out and have some fun, but I'm not dropping. No, not doing it.
Yeah. That's a nice car right there.
Dude, yeah, it is. I mean, those things are neat, but I'm like, this is what I always joke about. It looked great in my garage and that's about it. I mean, we might love it for the first month. And then when all of this goes away, that's my other thought process is like, what have you taken away so far from all of this that you've learned about your relationship or your home life? Or like, I never thought I was going to be in a situation like this where it's 24/7, like this, but that's retirement. If you think about it, that's what it's.
Oh yeah. I have honestly just how much stuff I can live without. What is really important and what isn't.
Right.
And like not really sweating the small stuff as much as maybe I previously have.
Right.
Because in the end, I'm getting by. I'm living life without this,
everything.
Without going out to eat
without
2-3 nights a week. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's funny that you, I find myself busier now kind of than I was before in some sense. And I don't know how that's possible, but then I'm appreciating the stuff that's getting done.
Yep. Yeah. So it was funny because I was trying to explain to somebody that I feel more busy now than I did prior, but we were busy before. We were halfway through or I guess a quarter through a radio tour and stuff like that. But now it's a Facebook Live, a this, and then you're like, oh shit. You look up at the clock and it's 9-10 o'clock and you're like, oh, well, I got to get to bed because I'm doing it all over again tomorrow. Right. So, yeah, it has been very, very productive.
Have you had any honeydews to do yet?
Absolutely. We did. So with the patio, when they put it in initially, they didn't put any weed fabric down. So all the weeds were popping up through the mulch and everything like that. So the other weekend we cleared all the mulch, cleared all the rock, laid fabric down, put brand new mulch down, put the rock back where it was. It looks great now. I was actually, before this call, in the middle of putting some stuff together in the garage. So yeah, that list just keeps compounding every day. That's
what I don't understand how that happened. I built a shoe rack for her in the garage because she has a lot of shoes. Dude, it's 6 foot tall and 6 foot wide.
Is it full?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Built a floating mantle to hang coats behind the front door.
Well, you know she's bougie.
AF.
You knew what you were getting into.
I did not. I learned real quick. I'm building a rolling vinyl cart right now that actually will hold my records. And
wow.
Yeah, I'm like having fun in the garage more than anything.
Yep.
So I've got the tools for it, which is neat. And I just sit out in the garage. Now it's 100 degrees here today, so it's not going to be the greatest day to be out in the garage, you know. But it's I love it out there. I mean,
but it's a dry heat.
Shit, no, not now. I mean,
really,
I did learn. No, it's humid here right now because there's a lot of water in the atmosphere. But I learned in Nashville, like, not ever to complain about heat because I was out there 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago in August, and it was disgusting.
I remember the first time I'd ever heard about dry heat. We were going for a bachelor trip to Scottsdale, Arizona, and it was in August. and we had a couple tee times booked to go play golf.
Right.
And I was looking at the weather, and I'm like 112, 109. I was like, I don't know if I want to go play. And everybody's like, well, it's a dry heat. It's a dry heat. And I'm like, yeah, but it's still hot as hell in an oven, and that's
Right.
a dry heat as well.
Absolutely.
But it is very different 110 degrees in Arizona or Nevada than it is in Nashville.
I mean, you guys were burning it was like 98 degrees there and like 90% humidity. It was like I was in a sauna. It's like you walk outside, your hair just goes, you know, like, I feel bad for the girls. I didn't give a shit. Just tried to wear a hat most of the time. But it's like this is like, we're gonna break a record today. It's the hottest day in the history of Las Vegas because it's never been this hot in April.
Damn.
Yeah, pretty bad. But I mean, the end of the day is you just do the stuff that you want to do early in the morning and get that out of the way. And Heather went for a run this morning and came home, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're sweating like bad. She's like, yeah, it's warm out. I'm like, maybe get up at 6 and go for that run. You know, maybe I'm wrong.
Or when the sun goes down.
Well, no, because it stays hot until 11 o'clock at night.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It just doesn't cool off here. No, it stays hot. And what's crazy is where we live now, it's pitch black. Like, we're in the middle of the desert. So it's literally, there's no street lights where I live.
You got scorpions?
A lot of them. Dude, over my back wall is desert. There's coyotes. You hear them every single night.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And it's peaceful. I mean, I'm scared for our dogs, but at the same time, it's peaceful, you know?
So the other day, and this, I mean, people may not believe this, but I swear to God, we saw a wolf in downtown Nashville. Well, I guess we live like 10, 12 minutes away from downtown.
Right.
But this sucker, I mean, it was bigger than a German Shepherd. And we were driving home, and I looked at Amy, and I was like, hey, I thought it was like a deer at first. I thought it was like a fawn, a little bit bigger than a fawn, but, you know, and I was like, oh, shit, there's a deer right there. And we got a little bit closer. I was like, oh, that's a dog. And then us being dog people, we're going to pull over to help it. And so I started to pull over, and I noticed it didn't have a collar.
Right.
Then I noticed it had a bird in its mouth. And I was like, that's not a coyote.
Yeah.
That's bigger than a coyote.
That's a vampire.
So been a little bit, you know, nervous with the dogs outside at night and stuff.
Yeah. You know,
we've got a big fence, but
they walk them. So our fence in the backyard's probably close to 6 foot. I built a dog run on the side of the house with a doggy door so they can go out in the middle of the night, but it's got a 6 foot chain link around it. But everyone keeps telling me out here that if it wants in, it's getting in. Which crazy. So my buddy Ian is a fireman, and he works down on the strip now, but he said you'd be surprised at how many coyotes you see downtown. And I went, how? Like, he goes, dude, they follow the train tracks. They just walk the train tracks all the way to downtown.
Yeah.
They go to the garbage cans in the back, get food, and then they walk all the way back home. And I'm like, holy cow, never even thought of that. Never even thought of it. But
has he said, have there been more since nobody's down there?
I didn't ask him that, but I will ask him that. It wouldn't surprise me because, well, maybe not. There's not as much food.
No food. Yeah, that makes sense. So we have a bunch of turkey that walk around right by our house, and they are out, I would say, at least 7 times more than normal. Like now.
Like just random.
Just chilling, walking across the street, hanging out.
They're wild?
Front yards, backyards, wild turkeys. Yeah.
Wow. That sounds like Thanksgiving to me.
I know. That's what I said. It's at our house this year.
Just get a pellet gun, hurt one, and then, throw it in the freezer real quick.
Yep.
One of the last times I was with you, we sat in your truck and we listened to a couple songs.
Yes.
You remember those 2 tunes?
I do.
One of them was about a
whiskey. They make whiskey, and if you ain't got a girl.
One of them about a fence, right? Yeah, one song about a fence.
This mountain
might have been.
You like that one, the one about getting high on a mountain?
Yeah. What happened to those? Where are they at? What's going on?
So we actually are in the process of planning a release.
Yeah.
EP release. Yep. So we've been in the studio. We've gotten everything almost done, and it is going to be out this summer.
Good.
Very, very soon.
I'm excited for that because I remember listening to those tunes, and it was like, I remember Rain Man. And then you had another one.
Did you hate Rain Man, or did you like Rain Man? Because I feel like there's two different. There's no like, we like it. It's we love it or we hate it.
Well, I can never lie.
My manager hates it.
It was not my favorite. It was not my favorite.
Okay.
What was the other one that you released around the same time?
Only one.
It
Why I
was
Don't Drink.
One. Yes, only one. I like Why I Don't Drink. I like that song. But those two that you played in you played me two in the truck that night, and they were super raw. I mean, super raw.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of that style because then you get to hear it go into and change. Scott
Right.
shared a bunch of. He shared "I Feel Good" with me, like as a demo. And when it came out, I was like, man, I'm crazy. But you know, I mean, I love the song, but because I love him as a person, and it's him. Just like, I'm gonna go back to that. But when I love listening to it raw, it's like when we talked that day and you told me that you were signing your deal. And you remember the first question I had for you?
I don't.
I asked you if they were re-releasing Man Enough Now.
Man Enough. Yep.
Yep. And I was happy. It made the hair on my arm stand up because it's one of those tunes that I don't think enough people heard. So that kind of made me happy with it all. Just
Yep.
to know that it's getting back out there and
yes, sir. So that's the single. It went to radio February 18th.
Yeah.
And we are promoting it as much as we can right now, but that is the forefront. That's the one that we want to make our introduction with. And
Good.
Even though, you know, a lot of people know it, it's still one of those songs that we knew was special, and we wanted it to be the first introduction to who I am as an artist.
Right. I'll have to say it is a very special song. I remember the first time. I still have it. I mean, I could probably let it out of the bag, but I have it on video at the Omni. You still had a man, still had a man bun. But I might have to let that one out of the bag here pretty quick, just to be like, you know, this is my first experience with this tune, and yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I remember I think we had just gotten back from Louisville that night or that morning, or somewhere in Indiana. But yeah, that was a great meeting, man.
Dude, it's funny because out of that, I want to say that I think you're probably the only artist that we still talk to outside of that. And there was a few that came through that, I mean, the Wild Feathers came in that day too. And those people's crazy. I mean, that's a lot of people, but they slayed it, but just not, I don't even remember what happened with them. I recorded like 2 or 3 songs of theirs. And I mean, this was all an intro for us, let people know about Stone.
Right.
I think that was prior to Country AF Radio.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because AF Radio was brand new right when, I mean, like a month old, 2 months old, the first time we came through and played Stonies.
I want to say we're it's driving me nuts. I think we're 2 years old now. Like, I was just thinking about it earlier, trying to put the math together. I know that.
So that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So about a month old.
Yeah. And now it's we are doing so good with it. And
Dude, I'm so happy for y'all.
I told the story yesterday. I get frustrated, but in time it will happen. So this is like, I had the goal before to build a radio station and do something special with it. And I think that we've achieved the special because we're different. And we get a lot of hate because people are like, you know, this pop country crap. And then we get a lot of people that are like, this is the greatest place to find new music, because they get to listen to the Luke Combs of the world and the Carrie Underwoods. And then right next to that, they get a Chris Bandy or a Ray Fulcher or whatever, you know, and we're playing good music. We're picking our music, and we're being very selective. It's not just, we're just throwing shit in there and just seeing if it sticks. I mean, we're curating our list. So that's the nice part. But my next step is that when Country Air Check comes out and an artist says, this single, thanks to this station, this station, this station, this station, and at the very bottom, maybe we just have our logo there that says, and also Country AF Radio, because we're putting a dent in it. And that's kind of like one of my goals with it, is for people to take us, I don't want to say serious, because that's not it. They do, but I just want it to be more of the masses, where people look at it as an outlet. So when your EP comes out, and I don't know you, but your publicist says, dude, you got to go get this on Country AF Radio, or your radio person says that's what they need to do, and it becomes a priority, because you know, we do have a base, and it's mostly West Coast, which is super neat too. It's really good, because I would say that 80% of our listenership is Arizona over California. And I mean, it's Nevada. I mean, the majority of our listeners, dude, do not come from Las Vegas.
That's awesome. Well,
number 2.
That is cool, man.
Yeah, number one is LA.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. LA, San Diego, and Vegas are kind of like all tied together, which
A
makes me happy.
3-hour drive from Vegas.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it
And I'm
depends
sure
on who
you get a lot of folks driving
we
from
do.
San Diego and Vegas, or San Diego and LA to Vegas for shows and stuff, right?
We do. So I would say that San Diego's probably closer to 4.5, 5 hours away, which isn't too bad. But the flip to that is LA is one of our biggest markets where people come in from, and we can tell you that from scanning an ID at the door, and that's what's kind of neat. So when I do my marketing now, I have a localized marketing campaign, and then I turn around and I hit our feeder markets, and
Yep.
I hit LA strong because everybody A comes to Vegas, and B, if they're a country fan, there's really not much else you can do, So
Right.
yeah. And in
We
saying,
got back to Moonshine Flats.
what's that?
We got back to Moonshine
Yeah,
Flats.
that's a big deal. It's funny. I talked to Michael a couple times here and there, and I haven't talked to him since the shit really hit the fan. But before all that, we were doing a lot of shows together, and he helped me with the show. I needed an artist, and he helped out a lot with it. And I enjoy stuff with him, and I enjoy booking with him, although he pushes for a lot more cover stuff than we do.
Right.
Yeah, it's a blessing for you guys to be able to come in and not have to be rely on someone else's song.
Right. And that's what's been so awesome. So we were out with Matt Stell and Ray
Yeah.
this spring, and we had 45 minutes. Got to play our own set, our own songs. And we kind of started in the world of 4-hour cover gigs,
Right.
moving down to 3-hour cover gigs to 2-hour cover gigs. And it's been amazing, just that transition to play our own songs and people know them.
Yes.
Which is, I mean, it's an awesome feeling.
That's the goal though, right?
You fly out to Vegas and play, Stonies, and people are singing the words back to us.
Yeah. I've stood on the Stony stage before, and I've given stuff away, and I felt the crowd, felt it toward the point where it's taken my breath away in a sense of, oh my God, 1,250 people stuffed in that room, and they're listening to me give shit away or tell them about a show that's coming up or introducing an artist. And I feel that. I can only imagine how it feels that when you're an artist and you're on stage and you're singing your song and these people are in your face screaming it back at you is
there's no better feeling.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's no better feeling. Because in my head, I'm like, I still think, how in the hell do these people know this song?
Yeah.
How do they know the words to this song?
Right. It's a neat world that we live in, dude. It really, really is, because it's like, I tried to, when I sat down with some of the terrestrial radio stations and explained to them why we do what we do and why, so one of the biggest things is the stations want to come in on Fridays and they want to put their morning show hosts on our stage and introduce the band. And
right.
My attitude is, why?
Yeah.
Sell me on why, because that's who I am. Is tell me why you think you belong here, because you don't. I'm just going to use you. You don't play Chris Bandy, so you're going to get up in front of everyone and act like you do, act like you know him, act like you care about his music, and that's kind of been my attitude towards it all. Is don't come in just when the big artist is there. I had Carly Pierce, and I got 5 phone calls. Can we send our morning show host in to announce the show? And I went, no. I go to media base. You played Carly's song last Tuesday at 2 a.m. So that doesn't help anybody. That's not number one. Number two, you didn't put any money behind the show. We paid you for our radio spots. No, the answer is no. Well, we kind of touted it as our show. Well, that's your bad. What's that have to do with me? Maybe I'm an a-hole when it comes to that, but at the end of the day is I want them to come in and go, you know what? I took Chris Bandy. I gave this guy a chance from day one. We're spinning man enough now. We're going to stand behind this artist, and we want to come out and support him at your club too, because this is what we've done. But it doesn't happen like that.
Y'all haven't. And back to, when I think about how do these people know this song, it's because y'all took a chance and played it when, when you didn't have to.
And we still do. And that's what the funness of it all is I look back, and I'm actually building a bucket of songs right now so we have our terrestrial format that we follow. Then we have the new music that we follow. Then we have our traditional songs that we follow in time. But my next step is to take music that we believe in today, the singles, and push them a little bit more too.
Oh, did I freeze?
Yes, you did.
Uh-oh.
Yo, there you are.
There we go.
Weird, dude.
I had to restart my computer. I guess some of the inputs got a little bit messed up when I was unplugging what I had plugged in. I broke it.
Dude, so I just got an email from Netflix and the United States top 10 list for shows, okay? Extraction's number 1. Never Have I Ever is number 2. Number 3 is Outer Banks. Number 4 is The Last Kingdom. Number 5 is The Willoughbys. Never even heard of it.
Oh, no.
6 is Waco. 7 is Ozark. 8 is Coronavirus Explained. Come on.
We watched that one.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I think I probably should go watch that. Number 9, Too Hot to Handle. I don't know if you can see that. And I believe, that one says, on the shores of paradise, gorgeous singles meet and mingle, but there's a twist. To win a $100,000 grand prize, they'll have to give up sex. Coronavirus. Sorry. And number 10 is Django. Excuse me. Dang.
Django Unchained?
Yeah. That's number 10.
Great movie. Great movie.
I don't think I've seen that. I'm watching Katie McGee's songs. Brandy Carlisle, The Story is
oh, yes.
her 9th song, which I think is cool. Yeah, she went from Shania Twain, Johnny Cash to Brandy Carlisle, but before that was Kenny Rogers and the Dixie Chicks, and Brad Paisley. Who was this? I can't see that. Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Wow.
Yeah. Can't be mad at that, right?
Not at all.
Dude, I played a little of everything. Austin Burke played In Sync.
Okay.
Because it's so funny. A lot of people had that same response, but what was neat about it, it was the first show he ever been to.
I believe. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, they were huge. Were you were you a Backstreet Boys or In Sync?
Never got into either one of them, to be honest with you. No. Somebody just posted on Facebook today in like an old Vegas scene thing, and they said, let's talk about the 80s songs that you absolutely loved. And someone wrote a band called the Bolshoi, which you probably never heard of, and the single's called Away, and it's 80s, like that crossover punk kind of progressive music. And I started listening to it right before this call because I haven't heard it in so long, but it brought back some memories because it's the older kind of music that I grew up on, like the Cult and the Cure and all that kind of stuff. That those people.
Did you ever like Beastie Boys?
Yeah.
So we watched before bed last night. It's a documentary on HBO about the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
And I forgot how incredible the Beastie Boys were.
When Brass Monkey came out, I had my first 12 in my car, and Hold It Now, Hit It, Low and Slow, Brass Monkey. I mean, yeah, I was License to Ill was like one of my
License to Ill, man.
Yeah.
It was because just so innovative and fresh, and no one was doing anything like that.
Dude, when Paul's Boutique came out, I was like, people are not going to get this. It's just too early. And then like maybe 7, 8, 9 years later, people started listening to Paul's Boutique. And I was like, man, it was just way before its time. Way before its time. Yeah.
Because that one flopped.
Yes.
But License to Ill was huge. Yeah. Huge. Yeah. And then Paul's Boutique came out and nothing. But then they got it back. I think they have 2 albums before the one with Sabotage came out.
And I'm going to pull them up right now. Beastie.
What was
so you that's pretty funny. Yeah, Check Your Head, Ill Communication, and then Hello Nasty. Yeah. License to Ill, 1986. Paul's Boutique, 89. Check Your Head in 92. And then Ill Communication. So it was like one album in between. Is that right? Yeah. How do you say you're a writer? How are you a writer on a Beastie Boys song? Like, how does that even work?
They just go in and spit.
Dude, I mean, Money Mark is on like almost every one of these.
Yep.
From the Ill Communication. Root Down was the jam. Sure. Dude, this sucks. I got to listen to this all over again.
That's what I was listening to today, working out in the garage.
Yeah.
License to Ill.
That's a great album. I mean, I just remember playing that, and then I used to always love it when they play it on the radio because they would play Brass Monkey and it would go into slow and low. And,
Yep.
And like most of the time people would, dude, look at that track listing. Rhymin' and Stealin', The New Style, She's Crafty, Posse and Effect, Slow Ride, Girls. I mean, come on. Fight for Your Right, No Sleep Till Brooklyn. I mean, okay, so remember when they took Paul Revere and they took the bass and they actually turned it backwards? So they, in the studio, they turned the bass around. So it was like,
Yep.
Yeah. And then good old Hold It Now, Hit It, and Brass Monkey. Dude, that's nuts.
Or it wasn't Sabotage. It was No Sleep Till.
There it is. Dun, dun, dun.
Brooklyn.
That's pretty funny. That's actually really, really funny. Do you play music throughout the day right now? Do you just pick up your guitar and play, or only during like your Facebook Live stuff?
During the rights and during the like the Zooms and the lives and everything like that. But yeah, I'll just come up here and pick on it a little bit and just see what I've really. So I just bought a keyboard.
Okay.
So that's what I've been spending a lot of time just trying to figure out and learn how to play. I don't want to be, Elton John on it. I just want to know how to find my way around chords and something. There you go.
I've been doing it, and I know I can play 3 chords. That's it. So
what do you got?
Nobody wants to hear that, dude.
What chords?
Hold on. I'm grabbing a pick. Now, hopefully this isn't too loud. There it is. So you're going to be able to see here. I'll move this. Oh man. But it's
E minor, E.
Yeah, that one. And then you go down a fret to there, right? Or not a fret, but a string. And then the other one is to here.
B minor.
Yeah. So I've learned. That's it.
Yep.
Guitar lessons with Bandi. I watched a YouTube thing and the guy's like, that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, you can play Free Fallin' with those 3 chords.
Dude, and that's funny because in the video, that's what he played. He was like, you can learn your first Tom Petty song with these 2 chords. And he goes, if you want to mix it up a little, that's when he went to this one. But I don't know what that one is.
You got there. You got when I was just a baby, my mama said to me, son, always be a good boy, don't you ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blow, I hang my head and cry.
What? That's bad. Well, I'll learn. I think by the time this is over, I might have 2 more as well. But I love it's a Epiphone. I don't know what it's called. A 339 Pro, but it's hollow. So.
Oh yeah.
It's light and it sounds.
339.
Cool. Yeah, and I've also got another one. I played that one because it's easy. It's easy for me with the
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, the Les Paul.
Yeah, I love blue. I love the Pelham blue.
Is it heavy?
Very, very.
Yep.
That's why I play the other one.
A guy that used to play guitar for us, he had one of those, but it had holes cut out in the middle. It was chambered, so it made it a little bit lighter.
Right, dude. That thing it is heavy, and I was playing it because it felt good in my hand, but it just will get to the point where it's so fucking heavy, and
It is.
so that one I can stand up and like I said, I learned a couple chords and got excited with it, and dude, I just had my first Zoom right with Chris Bandy. Yay! What's
I love
up?
it.
That's freaking cool, man. What else, man? Like, what is your? I was gonna say wife. What's your girl doing right now?
She's just hanging out. She's downstairs. She's been working from home, so she's in dermatology sales. So they can't go to any, offices or anything like that. So she's been doing a lot of Zoom calls and conference calls and stuff like that. So we're making it. We're doing with it what we can, and just trying to stay healthy and sane.
Yeah. That's the hardest part, because I mean, that walk from the office to the kitchen it's a doozy, dude.
Right?
It's a doozy.
Well, she just got a peloton.
Oh, shit.
So that comes in, I believe, on Friday. So hopefully that'll jumpstart our us getting back to working out.
I think the thing that's going to save you with that is the video part of it, where you're riding with other people. I think that encouragement, because we have a Bowflex that the one that does this, and it kicks your ass, but I have to turn the TV on just to get through it, and I'll watch Shark Tank, and you'll watch like 30 minutes of Shark Tank, and it kind of goes somewhat quick, but at the same time, it's kind of like you have to have some sort of a motivation piece to it, or I mean, you'll last a week or two, and then you'll never look at the thing again.
So I'm excited. Yeah, I came downstairs one night, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, and she's like, "I just ordered a Peloton." I was like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, I'm surprised that she's able to get it, because the people here in Vegas, I see people like my friends online asking if they can borrow somebody's, like, or access to like an apartment gym just to, because they said they're so back ordered on them. Maybe they just got a whole bunch of them in.
Hopefully man. She ordered it maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Those things
but yeah, it's pretty quick.
Pricey.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm excited to try it out though. I've heard that the seat is a little uncomfortable. Right. So I went on Amazon and bought a couple padded butt underwear.
Right. Yes. Mountain bike underwear.
Yep.
Yeah. I have some of those for when I had a mountain bike, but that's a whole nother thing.
So I'm excited to try it out. I'm going to have a competition, the Tour de May, with a friend of mine, and see who can bike the most miles.
As you should. I think there's where you're going to get the motivation as well. And
right.
I mean, I've seen that they have the classes. I saw a thing called The Mirror. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Dude,
so I think they have two. So I've seen one that has weights built in.
Oh, no,
that you can you can do curls and you can do lat pull downs and everything.
Wow.
But it's attached to your wall. I think it had like 300 pounds worth of weights all inside of it.
Right.
But then I've seen the one that is just the mirror, and it kind of shows you
what to do and goes along with. Yeah, I think
Yep.
I think that more than anything is kind of the future of what this home life is. And I just, you know what, the one thing I do want to get is a punching bag, like the big heavy bags.
Heavyweight. Yep.
Yeah, because you could put you do have one?
No. Heavy bag.
Yeah.
Heavy bag.
I want to put one of those in the garage, and dude, I mean, because there's times that everybody thinks they can fight, but the end of the day is just to be able to go out and it's a workout more than you think it. It's kind of like riding my dirt bike. I'm enjoying it, but at the same time I get home, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this thing down here, I don't even know what it's called, but it hurts,
Yep.
Yeah. But that's, dude, you'll have to let me know how that Peloton is. Me riding a bike, I don't know how long I would last on it. I love the interaction, but the other side is.
See, that's one of my concerns as well, is I've never been like a cyclist, if you will. And when you go at the gym and you get on one and you bike for like an hour and a half and look down, it's like 18 miles, 34 calories.
Yeah. What's the point?
I'm like, what the hell?
Dude,
I was just on this.
Yeah.
3 hours and burned 30 calories.
So my neighbor over here, his name is Renton. This is funny. His name is Renton. His last name is Yu. Y-U. And so whenever Renton Yu, and he's a real estate agent, which is even funnier. Renton Yu. But we have a joke. This is a two-part story. We have a joke around here that when someone will say, I go, who did that? And they're like, you did it. I'm like, what the hell's Renton doing in our house? Like that sort of thing. That's the first part. But I was talking to him this morning via text, and he was telling me that him and his buddies have been riding bikes and cycling on the street, or they'll go to the mountains. And he's like, dude, we rode like 40 miles. And he goes, I hurt. He goes, but I'll go ride my dirt bike for 3.5, 4 hours. And I feel like I've done more. And I'm like, bro, I can ride my dirt bike 2-3 days a week for a month and drop 20 pounds. And he's like, dude, it's no joke, because out here, think about it. It's mostly water weight, but it's
sweating.
Yes. It's that weight that you have no reason to carry. The bloating goes away. You're not as hungry anymore. You're like, I just had Heather buy me Pedialyte because I'm getting ready to go back out on the dirt bike again and start riding more. And that's my thing. I fill my water thing with Pedialyte, and I will ride for 2 hours, 3 hours, and come home and just be like, Jesus, that was right. Get on the scale. And the first, I'll drop 6 to 8 pounds, but then I'll wake up the next morning and I legit lost 3 to 4 pounds, gone. And
jeez,
yeah, it's crazy. And then you do that, I just bought a 450, so it's a whole different game for me. It's a heavier bike, and the way it runs is crazy. I have to pay attention more. I'm more focused. I'm holding on more. My arms are like, the strength of my arm is.
Oh yeah.
It's because that throttle is way different than a 250, because the pull's retarded. But I get home and I'm like, baby, you can run all you want. I just want to get on my dirt bike and I'll catch you later.
Yeah.
Because it's an hour and a half of listening to music and like exercising, that it's a lot easier than getting on that Bowflex or a Peloton.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more beautiful.
Absolutely. I saw a turtle my last run.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who was faster?
I actually stopped because he was in the middle of the road, which a lot of Can-Ams and Razors go down.
Yeah.
So I literally picked him up and moved him about 8 foot off the road and put him out in the desert and let him kick.
Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
You got some good karma coming your way.
Well, you know what? And then about 45 minutes after that, I took my chain guide off my bike and I had to walk a good 300 yards just to get cell service so I could drop a pin and tell Heather where to come get me.
Oh, man. Well, then I take that back.
Yeah. Well, I didn't wreck when I hit that thing. So that was my good karma.
Good.
Sure. Yeah. We went out on a truck drive the other night and saw 3 albino horses, wild horses, a mom, a dad, and a baby.
Really?
And when I'll get the picture from Heather, because I was driving the truck, but she took a picture of it, dude. The dad was like, honey, kid, move along. I'm going to stay here and make sure these people don't mess with it. The horse literally stood there and was like, keep on going. You keep on going. He was protecting.
No kid. Yeah. I mean, I feel like one albino horse is going to be rare to see. To see 3 at the same time.
Yeah. Mom, dad, and a baby.
Because I don't know much about horses. Is that a lot more rare, kind of like an albino snake or an albino?
I would assume so.
Thing? Yeah.
I would totally assume so. I'd never seen them. I've seen the paints. I've seen them brown. I've seen them black, but to see them pure white like they were and they're out in the middle of the desert. So they were like the dirty white, which is it was neat to see.
Damn.
Well, I'll get that picture from Heather and shoot it over to you, because it was super interesting.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah. I have 3 minutes before I have to get on with Mr. Lewis Bryce. So thank you for the time, sir.
Man, thank you. I appreciate you making time, and I'm glad that we got to do this.
Heck yeah. I'm going to put the two together. I'll pull out that medium part where we had a little burp in it, and I'll get it up on Toad's Tunes. I think I'm going to build a whole section called, I wanted to call it Toad's COVID Chronicles, because I think that's kind of just funny in its own name. But whatever.
That's awesome, man.
It doesn't mean what it should mean, but at the end of the day is like catching up with you guys, letting people know that, you're going through the same thing that they're going through. Is kind of going to be
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, tell everybody I said hello.
I will.
And y'all stay safe, stay healthy, and we will. I cannot wait to get out there and see y'all very, very soon. And
I can't wait to come back to Virago. Like,
hey.
When I was talking to Jameis and I was talking to a couple other people, and I always tell the story, I'm like, dude, here, you guys don't understand. Like, I'm cool with Bandi. They're like, yeah, but you got to do this. I'm like, no, man, you don't understand. When I get to Nashville, the first thing I do is let them know I'm coming, and we pick the night we're going to have Virago if he's in town. You just don't get it. Like, we're cool. Like, so when I was talking to Jameis today, I was like, she goes, send me the link. I'll get it to Bandi. I'm like, I can send it to him. Like, we're good at, like, you go take care of Kanan and Rain. And she goes, I keep forgetting you guys are like friends. I'm like, dude, like sushi is what I think about. It's going to be hopefully a ritual forever. I don't care how big you get. I still want to be able to go do the Virago thing.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much. Tell Heather, everybody, I said hello.
I will do that.
And we're going to get through this.
Tell Amy to ride farther than you on that bicycle.
I will. I will.
I'll talk to you soon, brother.
Awesome, brother. See ya.
Later.